Hello everyone, welcome to Data Engineer YouTube channel. In this video, we will see what is Azure Data Factory and what are its uses. We will also discuss the different architects where basically this Azure Data Factory is used. So let's get started with it. So first question is what basically is Azure Data Factory? Now, from the term factory, we understand it's like something which is manufactured on a larger scale, right? Let's say there is a factory of manufacturing of, let's say, pickles. So it will produce pickles in a lot of amount, right? Same way Azure Data Factory. So it is factory related to what data. So we process the data here, we extract the data here, and we transform the data here. So these operations are done in Azure Data Factory. So it's a ETL service. Now what is the meaning of ETL? So ETL stands for extract, transform and load. So just like, let's say you want to drink sugarcane juice, what we do is we extract the juice from the sugarcane. Same way, if in Azure Data Factory, what we can do is basically, let's say I have some data in my SQL server, I have some data in my Oracle database, I have some Excel data, I have some, let's say, non-formatted data, I have some data in the form of JSON and so on. I now want to extract all the data into one place so I can extract them. I just want to do some transformation operation, like I want to append something to the particular data, I want to filter something out of the data and so on. So these are the transform operation, and I just want to load those data. So EL stands for load. So extract, transform and load. So now this is the service provided by ADF. So this is the main service which ADF provides. Now let us see where we can use ADF. So I will be discussing a lot of architectures where we can use ADF practically. Now you can see here in this case, so we have source data. So source data is getting from a lot of things. We can get source data from the AWS, Amazon Web Service, Google Cloud, SQL or anything, right? So this is the source data. It is ingested by Azure Data Factory using copy activity. So copy activity is an activity which copies the data from the source and just dumps the data into the sink, right? Sink is nothing but the destination. Now we will be learning more about copy activity in the upcoming videos. Now let us see what it is doing further. Now further, it is storing the data into, after copying it is storing the data into database and some files. Further, again we are just processing some data, and then again we are dumping it into SQL or Snowflake and so on in the modern data warehouse. So this is one of the use case where data factory can be used. Let us see some more use cases of it. Now in this architecture you can see we are getting data from cloud, apps, sensors, on-premise database. Now what do we mean by on-premise? Let's say this is the database or servers which you own, right, which are not rented out somewhere, which you own yourself, right? Now everything, all the data is going into Azure Data Factory, and from Azure Data Factory we are performing some operations, we are filtering the data, we are transforming the data, and finally we are dumping into the database. Now from database we are creating some reports, like you can get some insights from the data. So that is done by the front end software, which is the Power BI. So this is another use case. Let us discuss about more use cases. Now here also we have a lot of data sources like MySQL, SAP, Kafka, SFTP and so on. Now that is again taken by the Azure Data Factory. Using copy activity, it is stored into the Azure Data Lake service. It is a storage service where we can store data in the form of Parquet files. Now what we mean by Parquet files is just like Excel files, we have Parquet files. The difference between Excel, or you can say CSV file, and Parquet file is CSV file, it's comma separated file. It has comma separated values, and it is very compressed. But Parquet file is much more compressed than the CSV file because it stores the data in the form of binary format. So it stores the data in form of 0 and 1s. So it is very compressed. Now we are storing it into the ADLS. Why we are storing it into a compressed form is because it's a historical data. Let's say the data is historical and we just want to store it in a low cost. So obviously if it is taking low space, so definitely our cost of storing it will be less, right? So that's why we use Azure Data Lake service, again provided by Azure. Now so in this, from the Azure Data Lake, we are taking the data into Azure Databricks. So now Databricks is another software which is used to like transform data. So we are transforming, we are performing some queries, and again we are storing it into the data lake. And now from the data lake we can create reports in Power BI or Tableau or even Databricks. So Databricks is even also used to create visuals. Now what is this arrow means? So this is the service principal, manage identity or groups, like the assess part. Let's say you want to assess your Tableau report or Power BI report with the help of manage identity or group or service principal. You can assess. It's something like a lock, right? So if you have the credentials, then only you will be able to see it, otherwise you will not be able to see it, right? So these are some of the examples which we covered, how basically data factory is used where like in different projects. So now you can see a data factory consists of a lot of things. Data factory consists of integration runtime, link surveys, and then we have data flows, data set, and pipelines. So these are the few things which we have in data factory, which we will be learning in the upcoming videos. So now if I just show you, I have created a playlist which I'm covering one by one. So just stay tuned. We'll be covering all the topics, even the projects, and you will get to see it very soon. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.